podcast. Mwah. I have missed everyone. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Mwah. 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 Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to another podcast. My name is Mistress Sweet Pea. We are at podcast number 3, or as they say in Italian, numero tre. Anyways, today's podcast is going to be quite interesting. We're going to discuss a day without technology. I don't know about you guys. I could definitely live off the grid for a day. You could pay me all the money in the world. I will do it. Hands down. You don't even have to ask me twice. So, let's start off on a good note here. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, good evening, and good luck, especially if your phone just died mid-scroll while you're listening to this podcast. This is the unplugged version of our podcast, well, somewhat unplugged version of A Day Without Technology. And again, I'm your host, Mistress Sweet Pea. Frantically, people are probably wondering, oh my gosh, I never thought living a day without technology could be possible. It can be done. It definitely can be done. I don't know anyone personally that's done it, but I've read stories of people who have done it, and actually they love it. They love the fact of detoxing from the electronic world, for sake of a better word. So today we're going to dive into the terrifyingly analog world that begins with your Wi-Fi ghosting you harder than your ex. So grab something to drink that's old-fashioned, that doesn't require a Keurig machine, because we're going dark, literally. Let's power through and power forward. So, a day without technology, we're going to break it down into segments. We'll throw in some Q&A, some fun facts, and we'll do a recap. So, let's get down to it. So, let's start with a day in the life without technology. You wake up in the morning. So, again, you wake up, you don't have your little cell phone here to buzz you to remind you that you need to get up to go to work or whatever. The alarm didn't go off because it was on your phone, which, again, you're living off the grid, so you need to find another means of getting up in the morning. For some people, if you live on a farm, it's probably the rooster, or maybe depending on when the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It could be anything. Moments, for example, you get up, you're fumbling around trying to make sure that you're not late for work. You look for your smartphone, your Alexa, your laptop, and just imagine every single piece of technology you own dead, doesn't exist. What would you do? Would you scramble and get frantic and go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't have my phone, I don't have this, all my notes are on my laptop. Well, we're going to detox that. And I want to see if anyone will actually try it for a day. I would definitely try it. If I could take a day off of work and I didn't have to use any technology, I would definitely do it. Now, let's say you're not working, you get up and you go make breakfast. Again, you making breakfast, no technology. How would you do it? Would you go outside and get some sticks and start a firewood and do it that way? There's so many, there's so many options without electronics and without technology. Imagine attempting to use the TV remote control to send an email. It doesn't work. So panic starts to fade in. The sunrise looks different when you actually see it unfolded instead of filtering it on your phone. So waking up isn't quite the gentle experience. Your internal alarm clock, otherwise known as too much sunlight in your eyes, does its best. But let's face it, it's no match for your custom ringtone to have on your phone to wake you up. So again, without technology, I cannot stress enough. I think this would be a great challenge for everyone to try, especially the young ones today who are so, I shouldn't say they're all hooked on technology. I mean, even Gen Xers like myself, we're hooked on technology. So I think it would be interesting to have one person from each generation, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, millennia, maybe just have one from every generation try living off the grid and see how that happens just for one day. That would be a great experiment. So, anyways, you're sitting down. Let's assume a morning routine. You're sitting down and you're looking at the TV and you're staring at a blank TV and you're yelling, Alexa, go make me my coffee. No Alexa. And then you go through your paperwork. You're trying to turn on your laptop. It's not working. Then you realize, wow, I don't, I have to do this myself. I got to take notes. I mean, I actually need to get a pen and write stuff down. The fun, the funny part is the cooking part of breakfast. The cooking part of the morning, making your own breakfast. You don't have a smart toaster, no online recipes. You don't have Alexa playing music in the background. You have to come up with ideas on your own without technology. And this also ties into something we'll be discussing later, which is homesteading, which I did try, not living off the grid, but I did try homesteading last year. And I don't know, maybe because that was the first time at it, it wasn't what I thought it would be. But then again, I would definitely try it again someday. So then let's fast forward then to the commute, going to work. Again, a day in the life without technology, so that means no cell phones, no GPS at all. The funny part is trying to get to work without using your apps, especially if it's a place that you're not familiar. Let's say you flew into town, you're on a business trip, and you have no idea where you're going. No technology. Let's say you had no cell phone. I can relate to this because as a child of the 80s, I grew up in the 80s. I grew up before we had all this technology. So if we went on a trip, we had to pull out the old-fashioned map and, okay, well, let's go here. We're going to go there. This is the route we have to take. Nowadays, you get Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever. But I do miss those days sometimes with the old-fashioned ways. Again, stopping at a gas station to get directions, which is a rare event these days because if you go to a gas station now and ask for directions, they're like, dude, get your phone out. What are you going to tell them? I'm sorry, I'm living off the grid today. I'm doing an experiment. They'll probably laugh at you. Who cares? But seriously, that would be funny to see this happen. And conversation with strangers, that's another thing, which brings up to another point, is during your commute. Whether you're carpooling with someone or you're by yourself or you're on a train, especially there's other people around, you're not sitting there like this on your phone looking and looking. You actually have to do something what's known as talk. You have to talk to people. It's a concept that people don't do anymore these days. Come on, guys, let's do it. We shouldn't be on our phone like this all the time. We're losing touch with human interaction. It's not good. There's nothing wrong with technology. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that we should all live off the grid. I do think we should all have a detox, and meaning we should live off the grid for a day to detox ourselves from all this technology that we have around us 24/7. So let's say you're going to work and you need directions. You go ask for directions. You pass by landmarks and things start to come. You start to remember, okay, now I know where I am. Now let's go to the next concept, which is you're at work now. So now when you get to work in 2025, you get your laptop, your phone, your Wi-Fi, you're connected in every way possible. You're connected. Then your your meetings are not Zoom meetings anymore. You actually have face-to-face meetings where you've got people in the room with you and you have to talk in front of everyone, not hide behind a computer screen. As much as like the next person, I like Zoom. I like Microsoft Teams, all of that, those type of tech programs, softwares. But some days it's nice to just have a good old-fashioned meeting. Let's get in the room together. Let's collaborate. Let's talk. Let's get down to the bottom of things. Whatever. I miss that. Sometimes I think it would be nice to have. So, and again, when you have staff meetings in person, you don't have those electronic boards behind you where you can draw and then it wipes away, or I don't know what they're called nowadays. There's so many names, but the presenter of your meeting, whether it's your boss, whomever, actually has a diagram, like a flow chart. That's paper. Again, paper, not electronic means of a presentation. So then we go back, and again, in regards to the office environment, um, we look at paper. We're using paper. We're not doing electronic. Just imagine that in this year 2025. Imagine a day without technology. I don't know who could actually survive that, especially in an office setting where everyone in an office nowadays is trying to move away from paper and go more towards less paper. That would be interesting to see how that would play out. And then your afternoons, free time with no social media, no streaming, and no online shopping, which means no Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, well, none of that. X for that matter, none. Imagine no social media programs at all. I can, because I grew up in the 80s. We didn't have any of that, so I can. But I know for you youngins out there, it's not possible. But just stop and think about that for a minute. Imagine you have a day with no social media, not logging into Facebook and seeing who posted or looking at your news feeds. No streaming services, no going on YouTube and looking out videos or checking out someone, anything. And no online shopping, no Amazon. Imagine no Amazon at all. You have to go to a store and purchase groceries. No online shopping. There's not going to be a delivery service coming to your door. These are all things that I would love to see anyone try. I will try it if it's possible. And it is. Anything's possible. Picking up a notebook and doodling and even writing notes in a notebook. Even taking a nap without your phone glued to your head in case make sure you get that phone call when it comes in, or check for that ding on your phone for a text message. It would be nice. And actually, surprisingly, I can see it being quite peaceful, not having any of that technology around. So your free time then is suddenly free. You have no digital entertainment. And then when you don't rely on this need of technology, it opens your mind to rediscover hobbies and things that you like to do that you didn't do before, because everything is on a cell phone or everything's on a laptop. Like you can go bike riding, you can sketch, you can whittle, or you can do a crossword puzzle, but a crossword puzzle on actual crossword book, not on a phone. Comic books, you can paint, you can do all these things that you can't do. Well, I shouldn't say you can't do. You can do all these things that don't require technology. Picking up a pen and paper and playing the old-fashioned game of tic-tac-toe. Nowadays, there's an app for it. Everything has an app for it. And while it is helpful in this day and age to have it, it's also, it's a blessing, but it's not, because it would be nice to actually have people just be around each other and see each other and talk with each other and hang out with each other and have coffee with each other without this. This is nice, but it's also the devil. And I really do mean it. I love my phone. Don't get me wrong. I love technology, but some days I would love to be off the grid. Again, hobbies, gardening, journaling, paintbrush, bird watching. They even have an app for bird watching. Why do you need an app for bird watching? I mean, I can see, if you don't know if you are into birds and you don't know which bird is what, I get it. Yeah, you want to back in the day when I grew up, we had Encyclopedia Britannica. We had an actual book that you had to open up and look and do your research on. Nowadays, you can go to AI or Comet or Gemini or wherever and do your research. And that's great. Yes, it is. I'm not condoning it, but I do miss the days when you actually had to pull out an encyclopedia to do homework, or even at the library with a card catalog. So then let's fast forward to evening realizations. Dinner with friends done in person without anyone checking a phone. Let's say you're at a restaurant with your friends. No phones. Or let's say you have a parent who's sick, or sibling, or daughters, whomever, I can understand that, you want your phone with you in case there's something. Put it in your purse. Let's have some human interaction. And I think a lot of our problems today is because of this, in my opinion. Not every problem, but some problems are. Um, Without phones, without technology, you're amongst friends. You can laugh. You can have moments, make memories, vivid laughter. Not having to look at your phone and look up and say, I heard what you said. Sure, okay. You don't have to do that anymore. And I think a lot of this rift that we're seeing is because people aren't talking to each other anymore. Everything is technology. Everything is cell phone, laptop, Zoom, team meetings. It's nice, but it'd be nice to have a timeout from all of it. So again, dinner with friends. You can have board games, tell stories, have you know do. Um, there's a game, I don't remember the name, where you draw, and you tell people, first word is. I'm sure someone out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. Um, there's also conversations. We talked about that. Now, I want to turn to some quirky little fun facts about living off the internet, living off the grid, I should say. Before smartphones, people memorized dozens of phone numbers and recited them at parties to show off. Like they, like, oh, they before cell phones, you would, if someone gave you their number, whether they would write it on your hand, or they give you a piece of paper, or you would have all these phone numbers. You didn't have a phone to put them in. You had a phone book maybe that you had to manually write in. And then also, physical photo albums were social gold. If you wanted to show a friend a picture, you invited them to your house and you flip through a photo album. So for you millennials out there that don't know what a photo album is, it's an actual book. Like, let's say this is a photo album. You invite your friends over and you go, look, oh, look, I remember this picture. I remember when we were here together. That's what I'm talking about. Photos that you actually have to go to a photo place. Like before, we used to have those Kodak kiosks, so you can go and drop your photos off, or CVS or Walgreens back in the day. Everything's on your phone now, so it's a little different. The simple act of folding a roadmap could take several minutes, and for some, never actually succeeded without consulting an adult. I struggle with maps. I'm not good with directions. I will admit to anyone out there, I am the worst. I'm probably worse than everyone else out there. I am really bad with directions. Like north, south, east, west, forget it. It's like, I have no idea where I am sometimes. Well, most of the times. People used to have library days where entire groups would go to a giant building to browse shelves for information, all without having to go and Google it. So you actually, back in the day, used to, when I had school homework and I had to write a paper, I had to go to the library, go through that card index, which is known as a card catalog for those out there that are too young to know what I'm talking about. And you'd have to flip through the index cards to find the shelf or the section that your book was in, and actually do your research that way. And you had to literally write it out, write your draft out, write your references out. They don't do that anymore. And this is a good one. Sending a handwritten letter took days, but the excitement of getting mail with exotic stamps on it was unbelievable. Like there's a friend of mine in Italy who's also on my Facebook, and I won't mention names. When I moved back from Italy to Boston, her and I kept in touch, and she would write me letters. See how quickly I was going to say email. I caught myself. So she would write me letters, and I used to always love it when the mail came and I saw the letter, and I'd hold it up in my hand. I'm like, wow, I got my letter from her, and it was nice. It was nice it was a wonderful feeling to get an actual letter in your hand from someone that you know. And I used to love the stamps. The stamps in Italy they're beautiful. I don't know what they look like now, but back then in the 90s, they were gorgeous. So it was just that, not having to get a text, an actual letter, and then you had to write back, and it was wonderful. Socializing often meant ring and run, roller skating, mailbox baseball, and games invented on the fly. So mailbox baseball, I've never participated, but I know people that have. There is also, um, I'm just laughing about the baseball game one. That's quite interesting. I can't believe people still do that this day. Roller skating. I love roller skating. Unfortunately, with a bad knee now, I can't do it. But back in the day, I used to love roller skating. I used to fly around the roller rink, like keep going and keep going. I used to make myself dizzy, but it was fun in the process. So let's fast forward again, and just some quirky little Q&As. So what is the most fundamental definition of living off the grid? It's basically operating independently from the municipal or public utility power grid. So when you're living off the grid, you're basically coming up with your own electricity. You have to have plans for your own electricity, septic tank. So there's all these what ifs when you do that. So basically, living 100% off the grid is possible if you're not tied into any traditional utilities. So basically, it's a way to generate and store your own electricity, which is easy with solar panels and batteries. You can also have your own well for water, and you need to make sure you have a septic system as well. That's definitely a must. So let's go back to our Q&A. And the other thing I wanted to discuss was homesteading. Homesteading is something I tried last year, and it was somewhat successful, not quite, but it was worth it. I enjoyed trying it. But basically, homesteading is a way to just store your own food, grow your own vegetables, try to utilize as much as you can without having to keep running to the store. Basically, use it up, wear it out, make do with what you have. It was not something. It was okay at first, but it's not something that I would recommend unless you live out in the country and you have to drive like 2 hours to go to the grocery store. That might be something I would consider. So, how to live a tech-free day. So basically let's backtrack. We're going to talk about digital detox because that's something we definitely got to discuss. So digital detox, there's an itinerary of how we can do this. So the night before, you want to get prepped and you want to write down essential appointments, reminders, and directions on paper. Again, no technology. So you can't rely on your Google Calendar or your emails. You want to write everything down on paper. Let close contacts know that you'll be unreachable except for emergencies, because I understand in today's day and age, things happen like they do and regardless. But you want to make sure you let people know. Set any alarms with traditional clocks and ask someone to wake you up in case you oversleep. So for the morning, when you wake up the next day, you want to wake up without screens. Stretch, meditate, take slow, deep breaths, relax, have breakfast, savor every flavor of the food that you're consuming. No background TV, no noise, no dinging of a cell phone, just peace. Just sit at your table, eat, and enjoy the flavors of the food that you're consuming. Take your coffee outside or tea, observe nature, relax. Just take it easy and just let it flow. Mid-morning, you move and explore, go for a walk, hike, bike riding, leave your audio devices behind and engage the senses. The forest, the trees, the path, the smell of nature. Visit a farmer's market or a local park or botanical garden for offline inspirations. I know that when I was growing up, I used to write a lot. I journaled a lot, and I used to take my bike and I would go even down the street to like a nearby park and sit on a swing and journal. Again, journal and creative write-ins. If you're an artist and you like to draw, take a notebook with you and just doodle, draw some sketches. Lunchtime or early afternoon, prepare a small meal from an actual cookbook, not online recipes. Enjoy time with family and friends, interact with them, play games, try hands-on crafting, read books, magazines, that sort of thing. Early evening, maybe take a yoga class, stretch, go for a walk, try it, and then maybe while you're walking at night, observe how your day was without technology. Was it helpful? How do you feel? Now, I have read articles that people have actually tried this and actually enjoyed it, and actually it helped them not only with their health but with their mental state, because we don't realize, but we're consumed by so much technology that it takes over us. And to break away from that, even for a day, to enjoy ourselves and other people, it actually is very beneficial. So that's a good detox to do. I, I am going to eventually try it someday. I definitely am all on board for that. You can also get other family members involved as well. That's definitely something that I would highly recommend. So we're going to close our podcast. I just wanted to let everyone know that the living technology free comes with its perks, and it's not, and with its pros and cons. Now, I know today with the way things are in the world, everyone is glued to their phone. So if you do try to live off the grid, of course, you're going to need your phone. Keep it on the back, keep it on silent, or keep it on if you need it, but put it somewhere so it's not a distraction to you. So that's what I would highly recommend. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up today, and I want to thank everyone for listening out there. I appreciate you all very much. So this is Mistress Sweet Pea. I'm signing off and powering down and the analog way. And have a great day, everyone. Peace and love, and be nice and gentle to each other. Thank you. Bye.